Okay, so you guys did four, maybe you did three, maybe you did two, maybe you did one, maybe you did zero. If it's zero, you probably need to go in the announcements and pick one of the pages to do as a layout, simple shapes. Before we do our actual comic and write our comic, I'm going to have you take one of those layout pages and finish them. So you're going to add details and things. All right. Uh, each one presents its own problem. You know, that's why we problem solve in art class. So let me move over to my camera and we can talk about that. I think I'm going to use this one, but I'm going to go over the ones that we looked at in class. Um, just so you know, that one we didn't do. We did this fight scene, which was a layout. Um, you could choose to do this one if you'd like. I think this one would be fairly easy to do your details in. Most of the things are up close. There's one shot that's probably going to need more details than other, and you'll have word bubbles to fill in. All right. This one, you've got one big space. You're going to turn these characters into your characters. And we can talk a little bit on how's the easiest way to go about doing that in a second. But the majority of this page is all close-ups. All right, there's one almost full body shot, but that's it. Whoops, hold on, two more. All right, I had two more 2 minutes ago. Maybe I lost them in a page. This was a fight scene that I did with the other class. And I started taking those rough laid out bodies and turning them into my characters. All right. This guy, I had to invent on the spot. I don't really know who that is yet. But this is my main character from the book series. I'm trading out trash can lids for gunstock war clubs. I'm adding a bandolero of bullets on this guy's outfit. And I'm changing up the dialogue. In this one, Mom never liked you. Don't talk about my mama. My brother warned me about your temper. It is a weakness. Then I hadn't got to the point where I filled it out. So, what you're going to essentially do is take one of these layout sheets and you're going to change it, add detail, add some shading, um, basically make it your own comic page. Now, the reason we're doing this is a lead up to your actual comic page. So this will give you a little more experience doing it, and you have one of the four layouts to choose that you did. This one actually is a pretty easy one. You just have to come up with the reason why he's hanging out with the child. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one and I'm going to start to draw my own details over it. All right. It's going to go from being Spider-Man to being my character. All right. So Spider-Man becomes the keeper of the gateway, the lord of all time and space. Classic teardrop eye, comedy tragedy face. Add the details. All right. Now you got a couple ways you could do this. You could do all the details at once. Like I could come back and do all the mask stuff at the same time just to help my continuity. Or you could do it where you finish one whole image, one panel, and move on to the next. Whatever helps you keep continuity is really what you should do. With the one I did in the last class, I did it one panel, one detail at a time, mainly because I had a character that I'd never drawn before. Like my main character, yeah, I could pretty much draw this guy in my sleep. It wouldn't be a big deal. Now, the big question is, Yeah, I've got him here, but why is he up in the air? So if I choose this page, there has to be a reason. All right. As to why he would be up in the air. There's a sleeve. Here's the edge of the coat. Maybe my coat's going to break the break a panel. Maybe this kid's going to go from being a kid to a doll. Maybe he's not a kid at all. Maybe he's a bomb. Maybe I'm going to put a word bubble up here. Hey, comma, I found this guy wandering. Uh-oh. The mall. Take him. Call it a gift. All right. So basically, what I would do is I just go back through this entire thing and I start adding all my details, all my shading over it. I'm taking that layout and doing exactly what you guys are going to do when you go to do your good page. Is you'll do your layout first. I'll give you a grade on your layout for your actual story page, and then you will go back and you'll start adding the details, and you'll get rid of things like, well, the skeleton, because you probably shouldn't see the skeleton through the person. All right. And maybe when he jumped here, he half jumped as a magpie. So he's got that ability to shift into different creatures. So maybe I start to do the magpie wings on him here. And maybe this guy starts to look more frightened. And yes, I'm giving him nostrils that you can look up because his head's tilted back and you could see the nostrils in. Also, if your head's tilted back, your ears come forward. All right. So you're just going through one of these pages and you're adding all the details. All right. And I'm going to stop there for now so that you guys actually have some time to do some work today. But you get the idea. Hopefully you get the idea. Some of them have a lot of word bubbles. So if you're not going to use that many word bubbles, don't erase them. But you should have a little bit of dialogue going on, right? Like in this one, you know, hey, I found this guy wandering the mall. Here, take him. It's a gift. You know. All right, I'm gonna let you guys work, and I'm gonna stop talking. All right. There we go. All right, so what you should be seeing here is a really long comic panel. So if you start to feel like this comic book thing is overwhelming, it could be worse. You could have to draw that. What this was a fold-out cover for a retelling of the Avengers. They weren't even called the Avengers; they were called the Ultimates at that point, because it kind of took place in a parallel universe. The artist Brian Hitch decided to do a fold-out cover that, when folded out, would actually be 7 different covers that all made up one cover. So it's one of the few comic books that I usually buy bound editions, but this is one of the few comic books I've bought over the last few years just because I wanted to be able to look at this thing nice and large. Each one of these could be broken down into its own comic cover, one with the Hulk, one with Captain America, one with Hawkeye, one with the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, one with the Wasp, who is actually using the giant formula there, and it would also have Nick Fury who lost an arm in that battle, by the way, and Thor, the biker, slightly balding Thor, who I really liked. Really liked this series also because Captain America was very much a soldier and not a nice person. He did what he had to do because he was, brought up in the military, and that didn't mean you always were the kindest human being. And it remained also meant that he had to look tough all the time. So there were moments when he was alone after a fight that he would just throw up. you know? But he had just been in this horrible, horrible war of a fight. So I found this series really, really entertaining and interesting. Um, I think the Hulk actually eats somebody he's fighting at one point. So it was a very over the top kind of version of the Avengers. What I love about this is Quicksilver here is moving so fast that you see him here, 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 and here. And I just thought that was a really cool detail. So, don't get overwhelmed by these. You're just filling in details. Um, and we're doing this as really a practice, is leading up to the story that you're going to tell about your character. Now, in the bottom right corner, I'm starting to turn that image, since it's so far away, basically into a silhouette. And that's another trick you can use as an artist. You can tend to use silhouettes, black shapes, just like Frank Miller did in his Dark Knight Returns or in Daredevil or in Sin City, any of those comics. Uh, we've got so far, the reason I had you do these panels is you can see how to use a close up. You can see when a bird's eye or a worm's eye is involved. In this page, we have two worm's eye, one bird's eye, and one close up. So even though we only have 4 panels, there's a lot going on here. All right. Also, slow like it works because it's got to be satellite at the back, which means the majority of the light should probably come from the satellite. Okay, so what I added in the bottom right panel is a bunch of silhouettes of people standing on the overlooking part of the mall. And I did this just by simply making fat stick figures, slightly turned, just trying to make them all dark. Because I figured if something blew up in the mall, yes, some people would run. But unfortunately, there's a lot of Americans that would just go, ooh, what was that? Let's go watch that. Oh my gosh, look at that craziness. Wow, you think another one's gonna blow up? Sure. Ooh, I want to see that. Get on my cell phone. This is like the time we chased Bigfoot. It turned out to be a bear. I still miss Bobby. What a horrible way to go. Just remember, if you have a choice in your demise, eating is never the first option. Now, your other question is, do I want you guys to go back and shade this thing? Yeah, I do. While you wouldn't do that in a normal comic book, um, I would also normally have you color these. Oh, some of you guys are in school. If you choose not to shade, you could totally color this. All right, guys, remember, I don't know how many people are still logged on from school, but next Monday is not an all distance learning day. Next Monday is a Tuesday. What you say? Well, there you got next Friday off. So they're switching every day over one day. So Monday becomes Tuesday, which means in the morning. Okay, you're all gone. All right, guys. Hope you figure it out. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.